What if I told you that the difference between walking on water and drowning isn't about the storm around you, but the storm within you? Today we're exploring one of history's most powerful stories about focus, faith, and the hidden cost of self-doubt that can sink your greatest potential before you even realize what's happening. 2,000 years ago, a fisherman named Peter experienced something that modern science calls flow state, that magical zone where belief systems override physical limitations. But his story reveals a universal truth. It's not external circumstances that break our focus under pressure. It's the moment we shift our attention from possibility to problem, from vision to limitation, that we begin to sink. This isn't just ancient history, this is the psychology of peak performance, the neuroscience of belief, and the timeless principle of how distraction creates failure in every area of human experience. The disciples had been rowing for hours against a relentless storm. Their muscles ached, their hope was fading, and exhaustion was setting in. But then, through the chaos, they saw something impossible. A figure walking toward them across the churning water. It was their teacher, moving with perfect calm through conditions that were overwhelming them. While they struggled against the storm, he was using it as his pathway. This is our first principle. What looks like an obstacle to most people can become an opportunity for those who shift their perspective. Peter felt something stir within him, not just recognition, but revelation. If his teacher could walk on water, perhaps the same power that made it possible was available to him. Without hesitation, he called out, "If that's really you, let me come to you on the water." And here's where the story gets remarkable. Peter didn't gradually learn to walk on water. He didn't test it slowly. He stepped out in complete commitment, and the water held him. His first steps were confident, purposeful, focused entirely on reaching his destination. This is flow state in action, that extraordinary moment when belief systems override physical limitations and what seems impossible becomes inevitable. Step after step, Peter moved across the water with supernatural confidence. The key wasn't that the storm stopped. It was still raging around him. The waves were still crashing. The wind was still howling. But Peter's attention was completely absorbed in one thing: maintaining his connection to the source of his newfound ability. This is the neuroscience of peak performance. When we're fully focused on our objective, our brain filters out distractions and accesses capabilities we didn't know we had. Peter wasn't thinking about the impossibility of what he was doing. He wasn't analyzing the physics. He was simply walking toward his goal with complete presence and trust. But then it happened. A massive wave crashed nearby, and for just a moment, Peter's attention shifted. Instead of focusing on his destination, he became aware of the danger surrounding him. Instead of maintaining his connection to possibility, he suddenly remembered all the reasons why what he was doing should be impossible. The water that had been supporting him began to give way. This wasn't because the power disappeared. Jesus was still there, the same energy was still available. But Peter's focus had shifted from faith to fear, from possibility to problem, from connection to separation. And here's the beautiful part of the story. Even in Peter's moment of doubt, help was immediately available. His teacher reached out instantly, not with judgment, but with support. Together, they walked back to the boat, and as they climbed in, the storm calmed. Peter's experience reveals something profound about staying focused under pressure. The storm wasn't his enemy. Distraction was. The waves weren't his problem. The shift in attention was. This story isn't about supernatural ability. It's about the universal principle that our external reality reflects our internal focus. Practical. Tip number 1, the anchor technique for hope. When facing pressure, create an anchor point, one specific positive outcome you're moving toward. Like Peter focusing on Jesus, train your mind to return to this anchor whenever distracting thoughts arise. Whether you're dealing with hope that seems unrealistic, this technique transforms wandering worry into directed energy. Write down your anchor before entering high-pressure situations. Make it specific, visual, and emotionally compelling. When fear or doubt creeps in, you're not fighting against them. You're simply returning your attention to your anchor. Practical. Tip number 2. the reset protocol for fear and disappointment. Develop a 30-second reset protocol for moments when you feel yourself sinking. First, pause and acknowledge the distraction without judgment. Second, take 3 deep breaths to reset your nervous system. Third, reconnect with your original intention or goal. This isn't about eliminating fear or disappointment. It's about preventing them from hijacking your focus. Just as Jesus immediately helped Peter when he called out, "Help is available in the moment you recognize you need it and reach for it." The hidden cost of self-doubt isn't just that it makes us feel bad. It's that it redirects our attention away from solutions and toward problems, away from possibilities and toward limitations. But like Peter, we always have the choice to refocus, to reach out, and to step back into our power. Here's what I want to know. What's your walking on water moment? When have you surprised yourself by staying focused under pressure? Or when has self-doubt caused you to sink just when breakthrough was within reach? Drop a comment below and share your story. Maybe it was a job interview, a creative project, a relationship conversation, or a moment when you had to choose between playing it safe and stepping into your potential. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this exploration of timeless wisdom connected with you, subscribe for more insights that bridge ancient stories with modern understanding. Remember, the water is still there, the storm might still be raging, but your ability to walk on water, to transcend your limitations, is always just one focused step away.